Welcome to another day of How to ABL. Today is Hero Mutant Female Fracture Day. It is 9/3/2023. I'm going to briefly talk about this rotation. I'm going to show you it in action, and then I'll give you additional information if you want to stick around later, like what teams I built and how my account's set up, so you can kind of compare it and understand why I'm scoring what I'm scoring. I fully anticipate to score anywhere in between 4.5 to 5 million today with Storm. I will be using Storm with her newest uniform, which is seasonal. She is wearing a Rage. Now, she can use a Judgment or an Anger proc, but Rage tends to do better in ABX. Basically, you're going to do 3 delayed cancel until a big beam of spinning lightning drops from the sky, and then you're going to do 5 cancel into 4, let 4 finish, where you jump in the air and throw the lightning bolt. 2 cancel 1, let that ice shatter. And then when 6 is ready, we're just going to do the exact same rotation, but we're going to cancel 4 into 6. And we're wanting to proc on our 4 and our 6. So let me go ahead and show you that in action. And then we'll talk about more if you want to stick around. All right, so I'm going to switch right away to Storm. Come on in. 3, wait for that bolt. 5, 4. All right, 2 and then 1. I'm going to wait for a few moments here, and then we're going to do it again. 3, 5, 4, 7, 6. You can pretty much use 7 whenever you want, but I like to do it with the 6 because it's usually ready around the same time. I'm going to switch to Polaris for the cancel. I probably could have done one more rotation with Storm before I did. As soon as the sword's raised, use that 3 and then switch right back to Storm. I'm going to use some skills because I can't switch because she came in as a striker. Alright, I'm a little far away, but I think I can still hit. So there we go. Better than nothing. And now my procs are off. That's okay. We'll work with it. We'll work with it. Storm is one of those characters that is very difficult to work with, so a lot of people don't like using her. But, I mean, she's okay. She does what she needs to do. And, of course, Surtur runs around the battlefield like an insane man. Alright, 3... 5, 4. Proc's gone, which hurts. 2, 1. And then he's going to bolt, and we're going to do 3, 5, 4, 7, 6. Nice proc there. I'm going to slip in a 2, 1, not that I need to. I'm going to do a 3, 5, 4. Make sure that we get... Yep, we already got that orb from Odin. 5, 4, 7, 6. 2, 1, 3, 5, 4. Jumping center, and like I said, I'm going to sneak in another rotation here for a second, at least pop in something. Switch to Polaris, use that 3, switch right back to Storm if I can. Since I can't, I'm going to use skills until I can switch back. Alright, let him do his run so we can get on top of him. 3, 5, 4, 7, 6. This is actually a really bad run, but you get the basic idea of how she's supposed to be used. Or one way to use her, because everybody has their own rotation, and there's too many arguments about the proper rotation to use for characters. You know, if you can get a decent enough score and they work for you, it's good enough. Pick up that orb. 3, 5, 4. No proc, that is going to hurt. We'll make it work. I'm going to let him dash. 3, 5, 4, 7, 6. Proc is back on. There's my 4.5 mil that I expected. 3, 5, 4. There's my 5. 3, 5, 4. Okay. So I wasn't able to finish that last proc. It would not have been ridiculous to expect about, I don't know, 5.3, 5.4 million with my Storm in my account. So let me give you that additional information after I write down my score. I'm probably going to do a rerun after this because that was a really bad run. Messed up quite a few things in there, but again, trying to give you the basic gist. If you can't cancel your skills and you can't hit them with your procs and your procs get messed up, it will alter your score, and Storm is a little bit harder to run than some other characters. So if you've been watching my videos for a while, you already know about cards and X swords, and I always show them in each video. If you don't know about them, go ahead and watch some of my other videos. So I'm just going to jump straight into my cards and show them to you. One thing I will point out, as I always point out with ABL, you want as high of Pierce as possible. It does affect your score. I only have 16%. So I could score more if I get more Pierce one day, but, you know, the gods of random said F you. That's my cards. Let me go to X Swords. Again, you can always pause the screen if you want to read and see what I have, but I think it's important to show how your account is built when you're considering how high scores go. As mentioned with Storm, you will need her Krakoan Summer uniform, which is seasonal. It is very powerful if you have it, but she's a glass cannon, and for the most part, the only real meta place that she's meta at is ABL, because there's a day that she's pretty much the only one that can do, and she does it the best. Nobody does better than her today, but they're all alternative options, which I will discuss. I'm going to hide my face for a second and then show you each of the sections for her build. If you want to pause them and read them, that's up to you. So here's her Urus. Everything's amplified. Don't really have much of anything to speak of with Odin's blessings on her. I am using Thor. If you use Thor, especially in ABL, as the striker, it does amplify your score. Mine's tier 4 with the Rage, which makes him even better of a striker as far as getting your score up. Here is the blast type ranking. I've got Poa on her. Remember to make sure these are all 6 stars in red. For the ISO 8, I've got Order on her. I've got a CTP of Rage. It's just normal. It's not reforged. It is at the 0.9, which is what you want to roll it to, so that you can get that increased damage. The uniform here is Mythic. If you want to see the Mythic options, I'll just go through them really quick. Again, pause if you want to read. But here are all of the different options for that uniform. All right, so that's kind of a high-level look at my Storm and how she is built, so you can have a basic idea of what I'm working with. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you the team that I'm using, why I'm using it, talk a little bit about alternate options, even though there's not many. This is definitely the meta for today, is using Storm. So let me go ahead and go back to Alliance Battle. Challenge. All right, Polaris, hands down, best mutant lead, unless you have Magneto, who's his own lead. But she does the 45% increase of all basic attacks, but she also has a support skill, Mutant Allies. In order to know if they're a mutant ally, you want to go to the magnifying glass, go to the character, go to details, and under here, under allies, it should say mutant. There are certain characters, like Quicksilver, who is not considered a mutant. I don't think Scarlet Witch is considered a mutant in the game either. So just because you think they're a mutant, sometimes you might want to double check. Some characters might surprise you and are actually considered mutants and you didn't know they were. So as long as they have that mutant tag, they will absolutely work with Polaris. I was going to show you really quick. Yeah, Quicksilver, I believe, shows his other. So he does not get bumped or amplified by mutant-only leads or supports. Please keep that in mind when you're building your teams. Polaris is worthy of an insight. I think I put it on her. Yeah. It's always good to have an insight on at least one of your characters. I usually also put one. I was considering putting one on Dazzler. Dazzler is the best mutant support in the game. She has this mutant allies again, so it only applies to mutants with that mutant tag. Increase basic attack. I'm sorry, basic damage dealt to boss types by 65%. Damage dealt is way better than just all attack, because all attack is before all of the damage reductions, whereas the damage dealt is after. So this will apply after damage is actually dealt, so it does the amplification after they actually hit, which tends to work for a higher score. So awesome team up here. The best mutant team up is what you see on the screen. It works with any other team besides for Magneto. You want Magneto in the leadership position. Alternate options if you do not have Storm. So if you at least have a tier 4 Storm, you could use X-Men Red or something, but the damage is going to massively drop. X-Men Red and Inhumans versus X-Men is not as powerful of a uniform as the Krakoan Summer. Krakoan Summer is way better, but it's better than nothing. I have noticed that if you use Psylocke with the Captain Britain uniform, which is Hellfire Gala, she does score, as far as a tier 3 and a transcended Captain Britain, they score close to each other if she has some sort of a judgment or even a proc. She can be kind of proc friendly with a mind damage obelisk. But yeah, she's an alternate option for today that's not too horrible. Rogue does okay. She's kind of in the ballpark of doing semi-decent. If you don't have Polaris, you could use Black Cat. I'm sorry, not Black Cat. It's Kitty Pryde. Shadow Cat. Not Black Cat, Shadow Cat. She makes for a decent mutant leader even without her uniform. That's someone to consider. Honestly, I don't think Magic or Negasonic Teenage Warhead or X-23 are worth using. but X23 does do okay. She was, for a while there, usable in ABX as a swap character, so she's still someone you might consider. So you definitely have some team-up options. Leadership, like I said, probably should be Shadowcat or Polaris. Support characters is pretty much going to be Dazzler. That's really the only support character we have. I don't think Domino, with her new uniform, gives supports. Yeah, she only has the leadership option for the ignore defense, which is good in certain game modes. I have not tried her out as far as damage goes. Yeah, self. So she doesn't do any support ability at all. I've not tried her as far as damage goes. I don't know if she is going to compete with Storm today. As of right now, I've not heard anything from anyone else, and I haven't taken the time to build her out and test her. So, but that's kind of a high-level overview of the account, the characters I'm using, team-up options. If you found this useful and helpful at all, consider a thumb up and commenting because it helps the algorithm. But may your ABL scores be as high as possible. Have a good one.